please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Ashwini, thoughts on pre-open? What would be your first trade? You said that you may want to try a short trade. Would you stand by that and your 9-10 call?
Yeah, first up, if you get this sort of a gap up, you should try to take shorts and see what happens. I think for the 9-10 call, maybe you want to still go short and then SBI with a stop say around 311 and target of 297.
Okay, that's the 9-10 call. We still have about 5 minutes more to go. Udayan, I just wanted to come back to that point you were making about the possibility of the LTCG being tinkered around this time in the budget. If that does happen, are we staring at a deep correction at all? Because, you know, we all know that the exchequer is in perpetual need of funds, and the market also believes that this move is bound to happen at some point in time. Do you think it could lead to a big correction?
You know, every budget, as you know, Sonia, this kite is flown and it does not happen, and the day after the budget or the day of the budget there's a relief rally because LTCG did not come through this time. So I don't know whether this is one more of those years, but the compulsions for the government are higher this time around because clearly they've spent a lot more in advance trying to help the economy on its way up. Well, we'll see with time whether the economy has got that help, but I think the government is desperate for funds right now, clearly. More so with the kind of numbers that we are getting on the GST collections front every month. So they need money from somewhere. They might touch capital gains this time around, but who's to say whether this will be the time that we'll get unlucky. If it happens, it might be the trigger for this correction, which is overdue. Will it break the trend? I doubt it seriously, because I think capital gains will also be absorbed. It will dent sentiment severely for maybe some time, but I don't think it is something which will break the markets back. But it will usher in a bit of a mood check, and that may not be such a bad thing for the market given the current backdrop. I think there is too little disappointment priced in at this point at 10,500 Nifty.
But there is also a lot of caution from you know, people like you and the fund managers I alluded to. Now I'll tell you where I'm coming from. You know, the crude prices are rising. Today it is 67.
Before you finish that question, Lata, can I just interject for the first sentence of your question, which is that commentary is one thing, positioning is quite another. There is caution in the commentary, there is no caution in the positioning. You look at the same guys who've been telling you they're cautious. I think the net inflow into the stock market from these guys would be a few thousand crores. So it is not that they have not been putting money into the market because they're getting money, but they're telling you that they're feeling cautious at this point in time. I think the more important thing is what is the price on the screen telling you and what is the positioning in terms of money telling you, and both of them I think are far from cautious at this point in time. The commentary maybe.
No, fair point. Valuations are definitely not indicating caution. I mean, I take your point entirely. But what I'm saying is the caution is coming because crude is at 67 now. It's a fresh 2.5-year high. All the central banks are going to start rolling back their liquidity. Some already have, and the Indian bond yields are also rising. But all this is coming because of growth, because of demand. This is something of a similar combination we saw from 2003 to 2007. So, you know, maybe is this growth supporting, you know, the markets?
Expectations of growth certainly is, Lata. So far we haven't got much by way of delivered growth or recorded growth. But, you know, it is an expectation, and the market may well be right. I mean, you're right in pointing out that while we are worrying about valuations and all these points of concern, the market is very sanguine that in 2008 growth will not disappoint. And when we get growth, the market may not go up so much. I mean, it often happens that the prices factor in growth before it comes, and then when growth comes in, the markets level out. That is certainly an outcome for 2018. I won't dispute that the market has a flattish kind of year because it already priced in the growth. But in the event, even if it's unlikely, it's all a game of probability. We can't take it for sure that growth will happen this year because we've gone wrong the last 3 years predicting it. So in case it doesn't happen, I think these valuations will begin to pinch a little bit because there is just no room for disappointment out there.
Okay. Well, at the moment, stock markets are starting with about 1/3% in terms of gains. Very quickly, Prakash, we've got only 50 seconds for the markets to open. Auto and ANKS, considering that the auto numbers came good?
Oh yeah, I think that would continue.
No discomfort with any of those?
No, because there's always this balance between domestic and exports for quite a few of the larger players, whether it's Motherson Sumi, Bharat Forge, Subros. I mean, Subros, of course, is more domestic, but selectively you have to continue looking at auto hands. And I'm waiting for a dip, you know, if you had in that space, there's nothing wrong in terms of the secular long-term story. So as Udayan said, you know, the positioning is still very positive because they're compelling opportunities there, but not at all worrisome at this point in time.